In this video, I'm going to show you how to convert row names into a column. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to use a basic data set from R. And we're going to use this data set, and I'll show you it down in the console. It's called state.x77. And so this is basically just a bunch of facts about a state. So what we want to do is we're going to set our df is equal to state.x77. And if I run this, I'm just going to press Control Enter. You can also press Run up here. You can see that this is actually an array. It's not a data frame. And so this is going to make it a little bit more difficult for us to run what we want to run on it. So we're going to go ahead and convert it into a data frame. So we're going to do df is equal to data.frame state.x77. And we're going to run that. And so now you see that we get 50 observations of a variables. Now we have a data frame, so that makes it a lot easier for us to work with. So now there are two ways that we're going to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make a copy of df and go ahead and run that. So we have df1 and df2. So these are just copies of the original df so that I can show you that these different ways kind of result in similar things happening. So what we're going to do in the first way, and I'm going to go ahead and create a comment here and just say we're going to do this by creating a new column. And you can always comment out using this # hashtag. That's going to comment out so it doesn't run. So what we're going to do is in df1, we want to create a new column called state so that we can take these row names. So if I look at df, you can see that here the state names are not actually, they don't have a column header. They're not actually a column, they're just a row name. So they're basically the index if you work in Python. So what we want is to convert these into an actual column so we can do the normal things we would do with columns. So what we can do is down here, I'm going to show you how to just get the row names. So if we do row.names and pass in df, you see that we're getting all those state names here. So that's essentially what we're working with is the row names. So what we want to do is to create a new column, and we're going to do this by setting it to, we're going to call that column state, and then we're going to set it to row.names. So we're going to do row.names, and then I'm going to put that same df1 in here. So we're going to do Control Enter. And then if we look at df1 now, we still have the row names here. But then we have our state over here with the names that we can use as we would another column. Now, if you got an error here, or if your data frame doesn't look like my data frame anymore, if it got converted into a list, it is because you did not do this step up here. You didn't convert the data into a data frame. So go ahead and do that and rerun it. Now, the second way we are going to use it is using the row names to column function. So in this is using Tibble from dplyr. So what we can do is we are going to have df2, and so in this case we're using the entire data frame. We're not using just a new column name. And so what we're going to do is row names to columns. You can see it here, and you can see it's coming from Tibble. And then we need to put in the data frame we're using. So this is df2. And we're going to put in some text. And what that text is going to be is the new column name. So we're going to make this column name state. And when I run this with Control Enter, I can open up df2. And now you can see that our row names have gone back just to an index. They're just numbers. And now we have state here as our states that we can use as any other column names. So that's how you can convert your row names into a column.